it's like we're zeroed out, the anatomical zero position. Feet apart. Shift a little right to left. Soften your hips, soften your knees. Let your shoulders feel like they're relaxed and mobile. So scoop up like you're picking up a ball, like a beach ball. You get to about your shoulder height, turn so the thumbs would be up. Then the arms come out, and like the ball we have is now getting bigger. It expands, and then it contracts. And then we reverse. We come back, and we bring the ball down. So if that was all there was to this, wow, I could just do that forever, right? There's always going to be more stuff to add on to it. So I'm going to shrug my shoulders, and then I'm going to reach my arms down to the ground as I sink my hips a little bit. So now I scoop up, like I'm scooping up the ball, but it's my breath. And then here, this is another breath. So I'm inhaling, arch the back, exhaling, slightly round the back. It helps if you dip your chin when you do that. So I breathe in again, and breathe out, I let the arms drop. So same thing again, up, feel the tension in your neck and shoulders, down, reach for the ground. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, chin up, arch the back. Exhale, chin down, slightly round the back. Inhale, bring the ball back down, exhale. So these movements help you to breathe deeper, they kind of make you breathe deep by doing the actions with your arms and your chest and so forth, but it also gives us a thought process to think about our body. Kind of like a scan, if you will. You're thinking about all different pieces and parts of your body, what's tight, what's relaxed. You're actually, trying to adjust those things. Trying to make my arms and shoulders relaxed even though I'm stretching. Squish the ball. Inhale. Exhale. So try to keep your head somewhat upright. So we're not moving the head, like this. Try to keep the head upright. So I'm feeling like I'm trying to touch the ceiling with my head, even though I'm reaching down to the ground. I'm trying to keep the spine stretched. Inhale. Breathe through your nose. Exhale. Relax your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. Expand. Inhale. Chin up, arch the back. Exhale, chin down, round the back. So whenever I exhale, I try to squish the stomach, the abdomen muscle, so as to get the diaphragm to move. So here could be a breath. You can breathe in, breathe out, in, relax the muscles in my stomach. Exhale, squish. Inhale, relax the stomach. Exhale, squish the stomach. Bring the ball back down. So we got all these directions, things to do. We got the shrugging, reaching, eyes are relaxed, breathing through the nose, tongue up to the roof of the mouth when we breathe in, tongue to the bottom of the mouth as we breathe out, squishing the stomach when we're exhaling, up, down. So if I give you enough instructions, it does kind of overwhelm you, all these things you try to think about. But again, it makes you think more about you and your body than, squirrels running across the roof or the drinking fountain clicking in. All these different things are distractions. So we're gonna do it one more time, then we'll move on. Up, down, inhale again, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So time to finish it up. We're going to splash, flick, push the ball under the water, splash, flick, look to the other direction, push the ball into the water, splash, flick, look straight up, push the ball under the water. Really what we do with the physical exercise is management of the major joints of the body. We call them the gates, the 9 gates. Wrist, elbow, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, and then the spine is divided into 3 areas. So when I was just doing all this stuff, I was really showing you, how to do it. I just didn't give you the names of the different parts. They're called gates because if we don't move them, it's kind of like it's closed. The energy doesn't flow, blood doesn't flow. So when the wrists are bent, the elbows are bent, shoulders are bent, hips, knees, and ankles are bent, the energy can flow. Our spine, whenever I say like chin up, it's easy to put the arch in the lower back. Chin drops. It's not like I'm really trying to slouch and do this. I'm just trying to take away that arch. So my tailbone tucks. So you got 3 parts to your back. What do we got? Cervical, thoracic, lumbar. So that's the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different parts of the body that we try to manage. Okay? Gates, 9 gates. So let's move into the Tai Chi preliminary exercises, the Qigong exercises. So we're going to put our feet apart, soften your hips so you got the horse stance. Spin, like you're spinning a big beach ball this time. Pivot, so your feet turn to the corner, left knee bent, right leg straight. The hands switch and you make a chop. So we got the ball. It's kind of like it's spinning. Squish the ball. Top hand turns now into a chop. Bottom hand does ward off. So these are components from the Tai Chi set that we'll do in a little bit. So back to the center. Horse stance. Relax, but hold the ball in front. Pivot. Squish. Top hand chops. Bottom hand does ward off. So there's a half circle right here with this arm. That's half of a circle, right? If there was a big beach ball sitting there. This bottom arm is a half of a circle too. So it's 2 circles, or 2 parts of the circle, 2 different planes. Big circle, same plane. Squish, split the circle. All right, so inhale, exhale. Try to keep your waist and your shoulders in the same plane also. Inhale, exhale. All right, so that's chop. We're going to do each one anywhere from 5 to 10 times. The second one is going to be, so if we just finish the chop here, hand to your side, other hand in front of your shoulder. This hand comes out, pivot, now I'm back on the other side again. Keep the hand twirling and go into our ward off. Bottom hand does a push. All right, so again, different concepts from Tai Chi. We're just putting them in like individual exercises. Hand to your hip, hand in front of your shoulder, pivot to the other side. You get to about here, you twirl it, ward off, push. Hopefully everybody's breathing deep. This will show you where to inhale, right here. Inhale is you're opening your lungs and chest. Exhale is your arms kind of squish. Hand to your hip, hand to your shoulder. Pivot on the ball of your foot. Makes it a little easier, less surface area on your foot. Push, sink into your waist. You can come up a little bit when you start. Inhale, but when you go to finish, you want to sink so that you're more solid with the center of gravity being a little bit low. So this is, again, ward off with a little push, right? So that's really one of the first movements we do in the Tai Chi sets. Inhale, exhale. Whenever you see me do this type of a hand gesture, I'll refer to this as holding or serving a teacup, and then the teacup would fall, we push away. So like here, serve the teacup, and then it falls. I'm sure some of you watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that movie, and there's a scene with the teacup, and she's testing the other person, see if she's really skilled, and she kind of throws the teacup or knocks it over, and the girl just kind of catches it. Teacups, it's got a lot to do with Chinese culture, the tea ceremonies and that, but it's in martial arts all over the place. It's a gesture that you'll see often. In Tai Chi, somewhat. Okay, so that was a glorified ward off is what I call it. The next one, we go back to horse stance. We spin the ball, we pivot. You see, this is kind of like the common thread here, the horse stance into the bow stance. Hand squish. So as if we were holding up the earth. You know, if I was using equal symmetry, I'd be here. But this one's going to be one high and one low. And then turn a fist and try and turn your fist, your forearm, your shoulder. And then the same thing on the bottom arm. So turn towards the back. Back to the horse stance. Catch the ball. Bow stance. One knee's bent, one straight. Squish. Split. Split is a Tai Chi concept. Twist, look up. Twist, look down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I'm trying to make a line from this foot to the hand. So it's not here, it's whatever that straight line would be, right? Inhale. Exhale. Look up, twist. Look down, twist. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. So that one I call holding up the earth. They all got other fancy names. These are the ones that just resonate a little bit more so with me. Next one, we start to play with our balance a little bit. So I'm going to shift. Most of the weight's on my right leg. I sink down. I'm going to hoist a flagpole. So you see how the hands would stay on the pole. They twist kind of sideways. Stretch up. Relax and come down. Both arms cross. Here's our brush knee when we practice our Tai Chi set. So I got the feet. Everything starts with the feet. And then the waist. And then the arms come up, hoist up. Stretch. Back off a little bit. If this is good, look straight and see if you can balance. Try to lift your leg up a bit. Set the foot down once, twice, double brush knee. Feet, waist. Here's that same concept of the shoulders moving, kind of stretching up and down. Reaching up, inhale. Exhale. Try and balance if you'd like. Set the foot down once, twice, settle into double brush knee. So if you keep your eyes on your hand up here and you try to balance, that will be even more challenging. So if you want to try that, wonderful. If not, look straight and make sure you feel stable if you're going to try to balance on one leg. Always the feet, the waist, the arms. Set the foot down once, twice, and down. So why do we do the touchdown thing twice? Once, twice. Why don't we just put the foot where we want to go? It's control. So, you're losing your balance. Oh, I got to get it there. No, if you're losing your balance, it just goes back to the closest spot. You just put it right back down there. So it gives you a little sense of stability. Now it's like, oh, okay, now I can put it over there. A lot of other techniques and forms that I teach, you go right from here to that spot. But it puts a little more shock and jolt on the joint. So, up, 1, 2, sink into it. Everybody's good. I know if you had questions, you would be asking me. So the next one is going to be right out of the Tai Chi form, where we bring the hands up, down, and then roll up and do the double push. So your hands make like a W shape. To get to the other side, I just pivot right past the horse stance. From here, I do a little reach and then pull, just like the first parts of Tai Chi forms, and then double push. So the thumbs make the W, right? The webbing is the upward part. Time to turn. We can do the little wave, like both hands are waving. Reach with your shoulders. Pull back with your shoulders. Roll up. Double push. Double wave. Goodbye. See ya. Right? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Turn with the feet. Shift the waist. Finish with the arms. So if this is reaching and then pulling, kind of like a slingshot, a little tension on the shoulders and then let it go. Inhale. Keep your elbows down and in, out, as opposed to like up here. Keep your elbows close. So again, let's do one more and then we'll move on. Reach, in, out, in, out. Okay, I want to do this next one because it's fun. There's 13 of them. and some of them I like more than others. So you get to see the fun ones, right? So take your hand with your arm and come across your body. Typically we call that an in block. Shift to the other side. Block towards your opposite side. So you might be feeling in your opposite lower back. So it's based on a 3 count. All right, so that was 3. So let's do it again. We go 1, 2, 3. And it's a bit of a coordination exercise because each time your hand comes back to your waist. You block, you scrub your side with your forearm, comes to your waist. So we're fantastic, right? The last part, that foot will come in. So it's the same idea. 1, 2. Now I do 3 with the arms. 1, 2, 3. The leg comes in. Sink down. Set it down. 1, 2. Arm and leg come together. So this is very much like the wave arms like clouds when we're doing the Tai Chi form, right? So there's always got to be a little bit more to it. So now we're going to do again. 1, 2. When I get to 3, the arms continue to make a bit of a circle. So they're like spinning the ball again. And this hand's by my underarm, other one's above. There's the Tai Chi symbol again, the yin yang symbol. And if you would like, you try to balance on one leg. 1, 2. The arm that's up is the one that gets us going again. 1, 2, 3. The leg comes in and the arms make a circle. If you're good with all that, you try to balance on one leg. Set it down once, twice. Arm that's up gets us going. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. See what my hands are doing? So when we started, I was doing stuff with the hand and the ball, and then, the hand positions changed, to be open or a fist or whatever. So this one, once we finally get to that last one, the hands now turn like the knuckles in, but you relax. So these are all little martial arts things. You're blocking your face, you're covering your underarm so you don't get hit. So there's martial stuff involved, but we're doing it for the fitness aspect. So you can see the hands now, right? I gotta turn around every now and then so you guys can see what I'm doing with the hands. So let's do this one more time. We'll do one more exercise and then it'll be time to go into full Tai Chi mode and concepts and principles. So again, I'm gonna shift, twist, shift, twist, shift, spin the ball, bring the leg in. If you can, try to stand on one leg. Set it down right away. 1, 2, now I'm stable. Now we can do the other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Set it down, and then we'll go on to the next thing. So a little thing with the balance. There's all different ways that we can work on our balance when we do these exercises. Typically, you want to have one leg your anchor. So that means you're going to put the weight on that side. That's my anchor, and it's a post. Like a fence post has stability. So if I shift and I bend my one knee that's going to support my weight, it's somewhat of a line from my shoulder, hip, knee, foot. Don't try to balance on one leg with, your body over here or too much over here, too much, it's a post. A post is straight up and down. So if you keep that in mind, whenever we start to lift up, that will make your balance better. If you just stand willy-nilly and you try to lift your leg up, chances are it's going to be a little awkward. So you sink, shift, leg comes up. So the leg that's coming up, we can again just kind of willy-nilly get it off the ground. Or you can try to bring it towards your other knee. Or
anchor leg always have a slight bend.
Yes. If we were doing some high-level martial arts movements, they'll practice it with the knee locked to make their balance even more challenged, but we're not doing that. So for stability, always let the knee bend a little bit. If you have weak knees, your knees will get stronger from doing that if it's in the right alignment. But if it hurts, don't bend too much. Okay, so Also, the knee, try to get it in front of your navel. So that looks a little more concise, if you will, as opposed to we're doing this and I say just lift your leg and it's all over the place, right? So the next one we're going to do, your leg is all over the place. Kind of defeating the purpose of this. I'm just giving you options. So the next one we're going to do with this sinking down, the leg's going to turn this way. Like you're trying to get your heel to turn towards your knee, and then it comes out. All right? So I got to do the first part of the movement now. So again, that was like the horse stance thing with the ball. We shift like we've been doing. So now, like at the beginning of the class, we opened up that balloon. As we breathe in, one goes up, one goes down. If that's fine, try to balance. Willy-nilly is fine, or heel towards your knee and out. Set it down softly, once, twice, shift to the other side. So I'm gonna spin, this is like the left side, my left side's the post. Spin the ball, squish the ball. Make gentle fists, they're in a line from my left hand to right hand. If that's all good, try to balance. If that's all good, heel towards your knee. If that's all good, come out with it. All right, so now I'm giving you different ways to practice balance. Because you'll hear, oh, you gotta work on your balance. Like, well, how do I do that? Well, lift one leg. Well, there's a lot more to it, and there's different techniques and details that'll make it either easier or harder to do. So let's do one or two more of these, and then we'll switch it up. So we got the right side, spin to the right, squish, inhale. Again, opening up the lungs, exhale. Leg up, whatever your comfort level is, see if you can balance, see if you can reach out with the heel, turn like that. Left side, feet, waist, arms. Extra credit is always the balance or the extra difficult stuff. So we come up, we turn the foot, the hip, we reach it out in front. Oh, look at that, I got a little shake. I was able to get a little shake out of that. So finish it up, you set it down softly, splash, flick. Push the ball into the water, slow the breathing down. Slow the breathing down, straight up. Push the ball down. So we do that exercise usually at the beginning of whatever part we're working on, kind of like it's done, we're done, close it, finish it. And it gives you a chance to, again, slow the breathing down, bring the oxygen back up to the top of your brain if you're feeling lightheaded, and then it helps us to stretch our neck. Which I'm just guessing, but I think most of you all would like to have a little more range of motion in your neck. I'm just guessing. Good indicators when you're driving. How easily can you turn? Not the slow one, but how easily can you turn real quick if you're driving? That's an indicator of how much neck flexibility, range of motion you have. Yeah. The barn aisle, right? Any questions on any of this stuff? Hopefully this all makes sense. If it doesn't, please ask. I'm not just the guy talking, it's two-way if you have questions. If you can't see something, ask me. Jim, turn around, please, okay? So the 5 directions, it's like a compass. Now we do the same thing with our feet apart, but make a little effort to make a half circle. Tai Chi is all about the circles, all about the arcs, all about flowing. So now my feet are solid, right? But if I shift my hips forward, that puts the weight on the ball of my foot. If I shift the weight back with my hips, the weight goes to my heel. Now I want to push from my right leg to my left hand. Push from the left foot to your right hand. It's like a tube of toothpaste. You push one end and it goes out the other. Back to the center, that's the 5th one. We get grounded again. So it's the 5 directions like a compass. You got north, up and forward, south, down and back. Shift to the left, we'll do is west. Shift to the east, right? So what are the hands doing? These are all the reference points. This first set of 5 exercises is really good because it teaches you like all the different components that go to all the other forms. So I get my feet apart, about as wide as my shoulders. My hands apart, as wide as my shoulders. About shoulder height, reach. Almost like you gotta feel like you're a little off balance. And then you come down to your hips. Now my weight's on the heels. When I go to shift, it's not just shift, it's push the ball of your foot into your shoe. Now that ball goes from the nose and navel to still nose height and navel height, they just switched. Push the ball of your foot. It's not just shift, it's ball of your foot to your waist. To come back to the center, ball of the foot. Solid. No shifting forward or backward, just solid. Feet flat. Now again, forward. Almost like, oop, I'm gonna fall. Back. Almost like you need to take a step. The closer you get to doing that in your thought and your mind doing it, your balance will get better over time in practice. Yes?
When you push off the ball of the foot, though, pretty quickly I feel weight on the opposite, right?
It actually goes to the opposite heel, but just flat is fine for now too, because it's a figure eight. Back to circles and shapes, right? Yeah, you go from your right ball to your left heel, and then your left ball to your right heel. And if we were just to do this like side to side, it's been a little while since I've explained this, but this is just side to side, feet flat. Okay, a little bit of flexibility in your hips, knees, strength a little bit. But if you get to now where you're pushing with the ball, even if I exaggerate it a little bit, my ankle, my toes, the ball of the foot, the calf help your circulation. It's called the calf muscle pump. It's like another heart. It's like you have another heart in your body. So the more you pump the toes, the ball to your ankle, that's good. Good for your balance because you're keeping that part flexible. So now that's just ball of the foot, right? Now if you can do ball to heel, my toes kind of get light, ball to heel, ball to heel. So that's even more coordination, more range of motion in your ankle, more challenging for your balance. That concept is all throughout Tai Chi, even if I don't talk about it. You'll push when you lift your leg up. I'm going to stand on one leg. I'm going to push with the ball. It's just all over the place. So it's a figure eight. It's really a figure eight. So does that answer your question that we did? So this is also push metal, pull like wood. This flow is water. The opposite would be fire. Fire has a flow to it. And then earth. So we expand when we lift our arms. So that's inhale. We contract. Exhale. Inhale when we catch the ball. Exhale as we turn and squish it. Inhale, chest is open. Exhale, chest has a little twist. Inhale, we're open. In theory, it's not much of a difference between your chest and here, between here and here. But again, it's got to be an opposite with it. So it teaches us how to breathe, teaches us philosophy.
When you're opening, is this hand, I can't see the seam, you block it, so it's down.
So they're going to be opposite. So they're opposite of each other.
Okay.
When we squish, they're still opposite. But now you get far and near. One bent, one locked. It's like all the opposites come into play. So if you look at Tai Chi, like from a mathematical point of view, it's a checklist that has a 0 or 1. You got two boxes. I'm oversimplifying it, but really it's like, it's either this or that. So this is that. Then they switch. Okay, it's opposites. This is an opposite of this. It's all opposites. 1 or 0. And then it gets more like, okay, well, what's in between 0 and 1? Fractions. So that's the interplay. It's like, well, it just doesn't go from here to here. It's the increments of change in between. And then, it's not black and white. It's how did you get there? So sometimes people look at the yin and yang symbol and just go, it's black and white, and that's the depth of understanding. Okay, a lot to go over today, right? So now we got 8 arm gestures. Our feet, we do this shift, turn, shift. There's cat stance. So now we got a kitty cat scratching. Nose and navel again, they're opposites. Step with your heel in front of your right shoulder. Now our hands will turn, and here's the ward off, similar to what we did earlier. Earlier we were here, this time around we're here. Splash, shift your weight and pull the ball back, or roll back. Now your body's kind of twisted at the torso, bump, poke, press. So musical notes. 1, 2, 3. Shoulder, elbow, wrist. Here's that motion we did earlier. Pull, push. To get to the other side, I turn in the cat stance. This hand does the bird's beak. This hand is actually the snake. I've been talking about that a little bit. And then it turns out. So that's 8 different arm gestures. We got the first one, ward off. Second, roll back. Shoulder. Third, elbow 4, press 5. 6 is pull. 7 is push. Similar to things we've already done in an earlier part of the class. There's the bird, there's the snake. Push. So if again we're pulling that ball in, that's our inhale. Push the breath out, exhale. Pull the breath in, push the breath out. Pull the breath in, straighten your foot right there if you need to. Push the ball out. Split. That's splitting. So you got a number and then you got an action. Ward off is keeping something away. Roll back is pulling something down and in. This is all together. You're bumping, poking, pressing. It's 3 parts of a whip. This is pulling the tree branch back. Snap in, let it go for the push. Splitting. We talked about that earlier. There's always some kind of splitting when your hands go different directions. So again, pull the breath in, push the breath out. Pull the breath in, push the breath out. Relax your shoulders. Always try to keep the shoulders relaxed. There'll come times like here, like you want to lift them. And you're like, got tension. Try to keep them relaxed. And then make an extra effort when we get to the finish part to drop another, ½ inch or whatever with your shoulders and your hips. So pull in, like right here. If I stay here, I should relax and sink. If I stay here, I should relax and sink. The thing is, we're doing it as a sequence, so we're not really stopping with each one. Inhale, exhale, but you still got to relax your shoulders. Inhale, exhale. All right, so now we're over here. So I'm going to attempt to do it in the mirror. So if we were going to start, we got to do this side, right? So we pull the ball back, ward off, roll back. Spine is somewhat wound up or twisted, unwinds. Pull back, push. Time to turn. This hand closest to the right side of the room is the bird. The other one turns the snake because it can move. It's a serpent, right? Now we're going to go this way. Pull back. I know some of you are going, I don't like mirror version. But we do it once or twice just so you can kind of see where the hands are in front of the body. Push. Farthest hand over here, the bird. Other hand, snake. Sink. Relax your shoulders. All right, so again, we're going to finish that set. So we splash, flick, push the ball down. It gives you a chance to kind of adjust and let more tension go away if you need to, whether it's in your neck, shoulders, spine, somewhere else. So for the most part, your spine is doing this type of thing. It's not doing that, like the snake I'm talking about. We're not doing that with the spine. That would be a totally different series of exercises from a different style. I teach that stuff too. Snake form and tiger, all kinds of cool stuff. You'll never see it, no. Occasionally I demonstrate a little bit of it. The spine, we don't want to do this with our spine where our shoulders are over our waist and then we do some kind of twist. So to show you like bad technique, say we were just doing that first one. Try not to do that. Right? When we get to here, and I do that twist. Again, try not to be like here or here. Anything other than just straight and neutral when you're twisting your spine is not what we're trying to do. And you usually find out a week or two from now when it's like, I've been doing class and my back's kind of bothering me now. So keep the spine straight over your hips. All right, no questions. Let's keep going. How's the auditorium, what do we call that? The balcony, the vestibule.
Actually, if I turn this way, I can see you better. I might stay here.
That's the overflow, right? Good place to be, I guess. So we got, again, the little half circle. Try not to look at your feet every time we do that, if you can do it without. Get to know where your body's at just by feel. So here's, again, our shift forward, shift back. Just like we did a moment ago. Catch the ball, split, the hands go to the side. So now it's called part the horse's mane. So some of the movements are describing what we're doing. It's parting the horse's mane. 3 times. Catch the ball, part the horse's mane. All right, now our feet. Everything starts with the feet. Turn towards the corner, shift into the cat stance. Catch that big ball that I keep talking about, nose and navel. On the way back, find your pulse. Now my spine is, again, twisted, right? Let the spine untwist as you shoulder, elbow, back of the wrist. Hands split. That brush knee movement we did earlier is there, right? Set the foot down. So now again, catch the ball. Nose and navel with the hand height. As the bottom hand drops the ball, your elbow drops. You push with the right hand forward, you do brush knee with the other hand. Time to do the other side. So again, I catch the ball like someone threw it to me from the corner. Let the ball drop so that you can push it away. And there's the webbing like I talked about earlier. Level with your nose, catch, drop, push. So that was 3 times. We again shift in the cat stance. This hand does the in block past our face. Strum the guitar. This hand comes on the inside of your elbow. If you can balance, what do we do with that back leg? Beth. We bend the back leg, right? Bend it. Don't try to do that. You know, you come across here and then I'm gonna try to balance. No, you gotta shift, sink, back leg is bent. Now I'm stable, I can stand. All right, so let's try that. That's like the first quarter, if you will. Waves and circles. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. See how I push with the ball, end up on the heel. 3 times. Inhale. Exhale. So next, white crane spreads its wings. Next, all of this together is called brush knee. Even though you got extra parts and pieces, this is all brush knee. Inhale. Exhale. Up a little bit with your hips, down with your hips and shoulder. All right, so that's 3 of those. Cat stance, that whole thing is called strum the guitar. All right, so now we go back to straight, pivot, shift onto your right leg. Twist, look over your right shoulder, see if you can put your hand close to someone's face but not in it. No, we don't want to do that. You just want to be aware of where you're at. And now it's like a ball again, spinning, pushing. So here's that little bend. This arm has a bend. Again, it's the circles, split. So now we do the same thing on the other corner. Turning to the left, twist to the left, look over your shoulder to the left. So there's your little chiropractic neck adjustment each time. Come to your ear. So again, find the ball like you're spinning it, but then it pushes and pulls. You gotta do total of 4. Feet, waist, arms, push. Right? So here's the idea like earlier, holding up the earth, but then drop your elbows. So your elbows stay kind of in. All right? So those were called repulsed monkey. Now we're back to catch the ball. Ward off. Roll back. Shoulder, elbow, press. Pull. Push. To get to the other side, remember earlier in class I said there's a double wave? There's the double wave. I'm just going to move a step over. Catch. Ward off. Roll back. Shoulder, elbow, press, pull, push. There's that W we did earlier. Now we again turn, cat stance, wind up like a spring. On the way back, find your pulse, and there's this hidden shoulder, elbow, wrist right there. Hold the teacup, pinch, there's the bird. This hand's free to move, so that's kind of the snake, right? And sync. All right, so now we're about halfway through. So you starting to see the connections? It's like, you know when you watch these TV shows and they're really trashy shows, right? But we still watch them because it's brain candy to keep us occupied. And then a couple minutes into it, you're like, I know what's coming. And then the rest of it, you're kind of like, I knew that was going to happen. So when you hear me talking about teacups in the early part of the class, probably going to be somewhere else in the class. You hear me talking about the post, the fence post, probably going to come up somewhere else in the class. All right, so that's how I kind of tie it into pop culture with television, right? So back to the beginning. So again, waves, try to feel the waves, but it comes from the feet to the waist to the arms. Back and forth. From the feet to the waist to the arms. Feet, waist, arms. We got to do a total of 3. All right. And then white crane spreads its wings. All right. Inhale, waves. So it's kind of like the waves sinking, rolling up the beach. Comes up, settles down. Comes up, settles down. So this is like water finds a boulder, a big boulder in the water by the beach, and it splashes up. You work on your balance if you'd like. All right, we got 4 repulse monkeys. So keep your elbows down, and then like you're keeping, a crazy monkey away from you. You're like up in Tavares somewhere, and the monkeys are loose in the forest because of Tarzan, right? Repulse monkey. Inhale when you're open. Exhale as you squish. One more. So I hold up the sky, squish, push and pull. So now this next chunk, we call this collectively all the exercises of the 8, it's grasp the sparrow's tail. So we got ward off, roll back, shoulder elbow press, pull, push. We really don't do the split, we just transition to the other side. So picture you're outside somewhere and there's a bird that lands on your wrist. And you kind of fluff it away. And it decides that it's going to come back, so you put your arm out. And you kind of fluff it away and push it away. Now you kind of get tired and just turn in a different direction, and that's where you're turning away and splitting, right? So when we do it with this set, though, it comes to here, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and our split ends up here. This is a version that we're not doing right now because we're keeping it all in the same room, right? Bow stance, horse stance. Okay, let's keep going. So a little while ago I mentioned wave arms like clouds. Hand to your hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist to the left. Hand to your hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist to the right. So that's one set. We do left side, we do right side. And it's very much like the waves again, rolling from side to side. The end of the third set, find your pulse, hold the teacup, the bird and the snake, split, sink into your hips, relax your shoulders. So now we're still pretty much where we started. We just need to make little adjustments to get our feet facing towards the corner. We're going to do cat stance. This hand comes up, brush knee. This other hand goes by your ear. We call that pat the high horse. Big horse, there's his butt, putting your hand on its rump. Now we're on the other side, 45 degrees to the right. Arms split, go to each corner. So here's our balance thing again. If your left knee is bent, you have some stability. You can lift the leg up a bit. If that's all fine, my toes are by my knee. But then I go toes out, toes back, reach. All extra credit if you want to try them. Scrub your sides, double punch. Relax your shoulders. Right, so now we're on the other corner. Arms are on the corner. I'm stable. Again, try to balance if you can. Toes by your knee if you can. Toes out, toes back. Reach. Horse stance. There's the bird. This is a snake. And this really is what embodies the whole snake thing. It's going to creep. It goes down, and then it pops up. And there's our chop. Back to the front. Brush knee, strum the guitar, stand on one leg, same thing. Where's this leg go? Goes next to your knee. Now we do the other side. Pinch, snake creeps, pops up into the chop. This is actually called rooster stands on one leg. I know, a whole bunch of stuff if you're new. Catch, squish, push, and split. Catch, squish, flip, push, split. Up, down, lower. Point your fingers, needle at the bottom of the C, scoop up, open like a fan, and again, push. From here we turn. Here's the ball, we split it. There's that circle thing I did earlier with the fists. Block, toes up. Block, toes down. Punch. Roll your sleeve down. Push. Now this is like the very beginning exercise where we did the shoulders up, shoulders down. Open the lungs. Close. Get a little closer if you'd like, and the whole thing starts over. So that's the whole set of 24 different exercises. Some of them repeat, and that's why it gets us to do more repetition. Everybody still here? Nobody bailed on me? If you gotta take a break, please take a break. So we're gonna do it again, slower. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. For the most part, you try to keep your head level. Side to side's fine, but try not to do too much looking down if you can. Inhale. Exhale. So always get the lower body set, sink your hips, finish with the arms, and breathe out. Feet, waist, arms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. In. So we can go slower. If you can match your breathing, wonderful. If you need to take more breaths, then adjust. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. 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 In. Relax your shoulders always. In. Out. In. Out as you fold. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Big and small. Far and near. In. Out. High, medium, low as you breathe out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. So we got time for one more. Unless you have to stop. And breathe out. In. Out. So even this has a little bit of that wave arms like clouds feel if you get that. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Just like you're wringing out a wet towel, your torso twists, untwists. In. Out. 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 Look at Ed. Ed knows what we're doing. Follow Ed. Ed's in the spot. Everybody's looking at Ed. I know, you just end up in that spot. Sorry. And breathe out. In. 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 Out. Always relax the shoulders at the end. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. out, in, out. Gradually each one in that last set gets slower and deeper. The last one, you lock your knees and elbows for a second, and then it comes back to the 9 gates. Relax your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your hips, your knees, your ankles. Tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, just straighten the spine from the 3 arches to a little more of a J shape. And that's it. Hopefully you feel wonderful. Class over, be well, be safe. Clap for you, not me.